Welcome to Filmi Ladies. Today is a catch-up episode where we're just going to talk through some of what we've been seeing lately. Fortunately, each of us has seen a big summer blockbuster, so we have relatively timely things to talk about for once.
Yeah.
Could you start with your timely new release?
I know how amazing. We're not being retro today.
Not today.
Um, but so I watched Disclosure Day. I watched it literally the same week it came out because I love UFOs. I love aliens. I'm very much a Fox Mulder, and my husband is very much a Dana Scully. So I desperately want to believe in all the things, and my husband desperately wants to disprove all the things. And also, Steven Spielberg is my Manmohan Desai, Beth.
Sure.
So he will always be my favorite filmmaker because he has made two of my all-time favorite comfort watch movies of all time. So when I'm sad, when I have menstrual cramps, or have a migraine, my favorite movies to watch are Jaws and Jurassic Park. So the man can do no wrong in my book. And so when I was like, oh my God, Spielberg has made Disclosure Day, I was very happy because also it has Emily Blunt, whom I have adored ever since I saw her in Devil Wears Prada, and I've seen other works by her, and she's so talented and amazing. And then I also like Josh O'Connor, but it's funny because I think of him as Prince Charles from The Crown because I mean, to me at least, that's his most like recognizable and most like iconic role. So I kept forgetting his name. Well, first I called him John O'Connor, which is not his name. And then I kept forgetting his name. So at work, when people were like, who's in Disclosure Day? And they're like, Emily Blunt. And then I kept saying, and Prince Charles. And they were like, Prince Charles is in a movie, in a Steven Spielberg
You're like
movie?
King Charles to you.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's right. He's not even a prince. He's a king. And then they were like, why is Prince Charles in a movie? And I was like, well, the guy, the skinny one. And then they were like, what are you talking about? So anyway, so the skinny Prince Charles person who is Josh O'Connor is in this movie. And also I love Colin Firth because I'm a woman with a beating heart and I have seen Sense and Pride and Prejudice, and so therefore I love him. And unfortunately in this movie he is not in a white shirt, wet in a fountain or anything like that, but it's
Those
still
days
Colin
are
Firth.
gone.
Those
Sad.
days are gone, but they could come back. We are
They
open. We're
are
not
captured
ageist.
on camera, so it's okay.
True. And also, we are not ageist. We are open to watching Colin Firth
And
wading into water.
I saw him in one of the movies I'll talk about as well.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Colin Firth
Okay.
party always.
So I went to see Disclosure Day. Our theater was full. It was great. It was a night show because anytime you're going to watch an alien movie or a horror movie, you have to see it at night. It's a rule. I don't make the rules. And I have to say, it was exactly what I thought it would be. It was a tremendous amount of fun. I loved it. It's very memeable. I had a lot of conversations with friends afterwards. I was like, what's happening, everyone? But it also did not make a lick of sense. Which is unusual for a Spielberg movie. I mean, I feel like even when he makes ridiculous, crazy movies, there's always some sort of like overarching logic to his films, and like they make sense within the universe that he has set up, you know. And Disclosure Day had plot holes the size of my head. A lot of things in this movie just were not making sense. The basic plot, should I give? I mean, I'll give the basic plot. I won't give spoilers though. The basic plot is that the US government, and actually governments all over the world, and you get to see these sort of like United Nations scenes with like heads of state of different places talking about it. So the basic idea is that international governments all across the world have known about alien contact with humans and the fact that aliens live among us and they can contact us, and like alien abductions and stuff like that, but they have never talked about it in the open because they don't want to cause like widespread panic and stuff like that. And this concept of like Disclosure Day, by the way, is very old. People on some of the sub forums that I lurk in have talked about this for a long time. I follow some like disclosure experts on Substack whose articles are fairly unhinged but extremely enjoyable. As I said, I want to believe those things. So we follow these two people, Emily Blunt and
Prince Charles.
Sukra, Prince Charles, and they basically are starting to speak in like this garbled speech, which is like basically mathematical equations. And Prince Charles and her are basically being hunted down by these bad people who are Colin Firth. He's the baddie. He has a lair in this movie that you would enjoy. It's very like laboratory-esque. There's no like crocodiles or like swimming pools or anything like that. This is not that kind of movie, but he still has like bad things that he does, and he has like this weird thing that makes no sense, and he has the power to almost like project his likeness into another person's house, almost imagine like a hologram like that. And in this movie, I don't remember this actress's name, but she's Bono ki beti,
Oh, yes.
like YouTube Bono, his beti. She's in this movie. Eve, whatever her name is, Eve Hewson, I think her name is. So
Yeah.
she's in this movie, and she's fine. She just makes a lot of very stupid decisions, and
Why is
Prince
everybody
Charles makes a
British
lot
in
of,
this movie?
huh?
Why is everybody British? Steven Spielberg is not British.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Everybody in this movie is British.
Are the
Like Emily
British people
Blunt.
aliens? Is that why they're like that?
It could be. It could be. You know what? The House of Windsors and Mountbattens and stuff. Always had my suspicions about that lot.
Listen, all that inbreeding,
Yes.
the only way they could save the bloodline was to bring in seriously new blood and make it aliens.
Interstellar
I
blood. That's
love
what they
this. I love
needed.
this.
Yeah. And so it's not a movie that makes a lot of sense, but it's a very fun movie. There's some very questionable CGI in this film, which people were like, was that intentionally bad? Because it's like really bad. Like there's these like CGI generated animals that made no sense. But I have to give kudos to Emily Blunt. Her acting in this movie is top notch. Like there is a really good action scene where she and Prince Charles are in a car and they're being chased by all of these bad guys, and they have to, like, they're trying to cross the railway crossing, and a train is coming, and then the bad guys just keep like trying to push them into the train, and then they have to escape by jumping onto the train. So it's very like 70s Manmohan Desai or like Burning Train-esque. And when they actually make it inside the, it's one of those what are they called, it's not like a passenger train,
Oh, like
it's
a
a
freight
goods
train,
carrier.
boxcar.
It's a freight train. And then they get into like the boxcar thing. And then Emily Blunt has this like huge like panic attack. And Josh O'Connor has to like help her through it. She is so good in that scene. Like she really sold it. And I was just like, damn, you're good. So she was awesome. And there, it's just not a movie that makes sense, but it's a lot of fun. And then towards the end, they do trot out the little gray aliens, and that was like a little bit comical because it was just kind of like, wait, what? I wish it had been a little bit more like sophisticated, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who watch Spielberg movies, including me, we're not going there because we think it's going to be so cerebral. We're going because there's just so much nostalgia,
Mhm.
and because we know we're going to have a good time. So I would highly recommend Disclosure Day to people who like aliens, people who like Emily Blunt, people who like Josh O'Connor, and people who are Spielberg fans. But if you're not a hardcore Spielberg fan, then there are so many better like sci-fi-ish movies that I can recommend. And I would say my favorite sci-fi movie, I mean, there's horror sci-fi, which is great. Like I love the Alien Covenant series. That's amazing and so gory. But if you like actual sci-fi, there's like a lot better stuff that you could watch. Like I love Interstellar. I know a lot of people don't like it, but that's amazing. Um, the Martian is not quite sci-fi, but like fine, whatever it kind of is. That's really great. Sunshine is an amazing movie that no one ever watches and talks about, but it's great. It has Cillian Murphy in it. It's older. Moon is amazing. Moon is a really good kind of sad movie. That's really good. So there's like a lot better sci-fi stuff that a person could watch, or just watch old episodes of the X Files. That's what I would recommend. So exciting.
Nice.
Um, and then you watched Alpha,
I watched Alpha. I went to the cinema on Friday and watched Alpha.
and you were WhatsApping me from the cinema.
Y'all, okay, so I'm going to keep this spoiler free, except for one point that is very, very beside the point, um, which is that Alia has a pet guinea pig. And this dodo here, me, only understood like, oh, guinea pig. She's a guinea pig for all the evil
Oh,
experiments. That's why she has a guinea
okay.
pig. Ugh.
Got it.
But she has a pet guinea pig who's named Soldier, and she takes very good care of Soldier. And then she goes off on her vendetta, and we never see guinea pig again. So I was like, "Where's what happened to Soldier?"
Oh,
So, but I think that the time frame is supposed to be quite condensed. So maybe she just left him with an automatic feeder and stuff, and he's okay. I don't know, but
maybe she has a friend who is going to take
she
care of
doesn't have
Soldier.
any friends.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh,
very clear that this poor person has no friends. Anyway, so if you know what happened to Soldier or you'd like to guess, please tell me, and only if it's nice though.
Maybe Soldier shapeshifted into Bobby Deol and romance Preeti Zinta and sang the Soldier Soldier Meethi Baatein Bolkar Dil Mera Chura Le Gaya song. It could
We
happen,
can only
Beth.
hope. And time
Yeah.
travel. And
Yes.
okay,
And
so
LSD.
yeah. So this is, of course, an installment in my favorite concept, the Yashraj spy or the YRF spy universe, which I very much enjoy existing, although I did not see War 2. And if I
Mm.
had seen War 2, I would have been less delighted because I would have already known that Anu Kapoor and Bobby Deol are in this movie. Um, Anu Kapoor, good, knows what he's
Always good.
head of Raw, great. Occasional action scenes like in the gun toting variety. He's not like hitting people and stuff so much, but like, yes.
Yes.
I think that if I had been watching this at home, I would have turned it off in the first 15 minutes.
Okay. And you stuck with it? You watched the whole movie in
I
the
just,
theater?
I mean, I paid $10. I wanted to
Yeah.
enjoy the movie theater's air conditioning because it's been ridiculously hot here. Um, I had my snacks. And I wanted to see it for Alia because, as we've discussed recently, we're big fans, and I wanted to see how she would do at something like this. I
Mm.
thought she was great. I really did. I'm not an action movie connoisseur, but I thought she was great.
Yeah,
Bobby,
because you haven't seen Jigra. And
I
I saw
haven't.
Jigra in which she did a lot of action scenes.
Yeah. Bobby, on the other hand, I feel like was not good. And he could be the character, but I don't know.
What
I'm
kind of
not
character is he? Is he like a goodie or a baddie or?
Well, he is somebody who gets, so he and Anna will start this program called Alpha, where they are working on with a scientist to come up with this super amazing serum that will make Indian soldiers basically invincible.
Oh,
Other
like
than
a
if they,
super
yeah, kind of a
robot
super soldier
person.
thing. If you shoot them in the head, they'll die. But like they've got super hearing and super aim and super,
Okay.
they self-heal a little bit and whatever. I feel
That's
like I've
cool.
heard about this concept in other movies, but whatever, it's fine. It's out there. I'm sure a lot of speculative fiction writers have done this.
Hmm.
Um, but then the army shuts them down because the soldiers are dying. The whatever this serum is
Oh,
messing them up and they die.
they
But
didn't do enough testing.
no, and Bobby wants to go. So Anil's wife, played by Dia Mirza, very confusingly to me. Again, was she in War II? I don't know. But they've had trouble having children biologically. She gets pregnant. He's like, I think it's too risky, but she's like, no, my heart says I'm gonna do it. Blah blah blah, motherhood, blah. um, but then the baby is uh but she starts having medical trouble. So then Anil gives her the alpha serum, which of course he's not supposed to do. And then that means the baby is born
Is born alpha.
is born
It's an
alpha.
alpha
And
baby.
they don't have any of those yet because they've been injecting adults, right?
Mm.
This is
Oh,
but
yeah.
but this all, the project gets shut down. It's bad, and Bobby gets demoted, and he gets sent to rainiest place on the earth that we were just talking about. I was
Cherrapunji.
like, oh hey, and it was indeed raining much of the time. But secretly, he starts working on Alpha again. He gets the scientist back, and they have this crazy bunker full of concrete, and he's raising the baby that Anil was told was stillborn. He's raising the baby, and the baby is Alia. So this is in
Mm,
the
of
first 20
course.
minutes or so. I will not do any spoilers after this or any much by way of plot
I
details.
feel like this is a good role. Why couldn't Bobby
Yeah,
hack it?
I just thought he was too ridiculous, and he does not have the chops to carry that, I think. I felt like he was kind of getting crushed under his own
Girls.
extreme. So if you remember how John Abraham was in Pathan, it's like that.
Yes.
He's very much
Yeah.
like that,
Okay.
um, to me. And I was like, this is now okay. Nawazuddin Siddiqui is never going to play super soldier. He does not have the physique, although that would be interesting if he did. But like
But Ritik
that's
could.
right. You need somebody more who just has I think, a better handle on being maniacal. I feel like
Mm,
Bobby's strength is Bop and Bobby, right? Like,
yeah.
and I know he's older now, but you could still make a middle-aged person who enjoys bopping around. We enjoy bopping around, those
Yeah.
of us who are in our middle years. So like, but so I just felt like he was miscast.
He was just out of his depth, sounds
I
like.
think so. I think his
Who would
depths are
you have
somewhere else.
liked to see in because I
Yeah,
love Ritik Roshan. I'm a big fan, but I'm not sure Ritik can do maniacal
yeah, and he can't do it because he's somebody else in the
in this
Yashraj
in the
spy universe,
universe.
right? He's in
Yeah.
war. So I was trying to think who I would have pulled. Um,
Jackie can do maniacal, but he's not the strongest actor.
Jackie Schroff?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if you could have had him do all the action scenes. He's a little old, right?
Mm,
So this character
yeah.
has to do a lot of action. Honestly, Aki would have been good in this.
Oh yeah. Also, young Danny Denzongpa.
Sure, if we're getting all time travel,
Time
whatever, yeah.
travel.
But if we're sticking with who we actually have, I think
I'm
Aki
taking us,
probably
I'm
would have
dragging
been.
us to the 70s, and I'm like, cast Vinod Khanna, cast Danny Denzongpa.
I'm like, could Seth have done it?
Oh, I feel like he could have done
Maybe
it. He was so evil in Ek Hasina Thi. I
he was
hated
so
him in that
evil in
movie.
Vicinity.
He
You
can do maniacal.
so this as written, this guy needs to be beefy, right? And Seth is not beefy most of the time, but he is
No,
like,
he's muscly.
so maybe.
What about
Um,
Shahid? Is Shahid too like dainty and lanky for us? Maybe.
no, I think that would have been really interesting, honestly.
Yeah,
That
because
would
he's
be casting
nimble.
against type, and that would have been very interesting.
And he was so good in like Haider and stuff. Shahid could do
Yeah.
it.
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
So anyway, Alia hates how she's been raised, and she goes on a revenge mission. And
Is she raised in Cherrapunji? In the
oh,
bunker?
she's raised in the bunker, which is sort of separate. Bobby is not often, he's not always there. He's kind of, because I don't think the bunker is in Cherrapunji because it's not rainy there. It's dry where the bunker is. So
Okay.
it probably doesn't matter. Um, and then
It's in Shimla slash Mumbai.
it's in, yeah, our favorite non-real location. And then we also meet up with Sharvari, how do you say
Sharvari Wagh. Yeah.
Sharvari Vag, yeah, who I thought was good as another action foil for her. So we get to see women fighting each other and women fighting together and whatever.
Okay.
Um, things happen that you would expect to happen in the spy universe. But honestly, if you haven't seen this yet and you want to, I'm not telling you definitely do arrive late to the cinema, but if you do arrive late to the cinema, it's fine.
Okay.
It gets stronger as it goes along, I think, and they work on their character development later in the film. There's a big kind of reveal and stuff at the end, as you would expect. I won't say anything about any of that, but yeah, this was rough for me. And then
Hmm.
under the credits, there is a song with Alia and Sharvari in like hot pants and boob tubes and high heels dancing around. And I was like,
Hmm.
no, no. I realized that you were telling us these are these performers and not these characters.
Right.
But you undid. So, one of the things I think this film does well, and I did enjoy all the action sequences. I was impressed by them. I thought they were effective. Like, again, I'm not the best judge of that, but I enjoyed them. There's extremely little sexualized violence in this movie.
Hmm.
But there are two action women in it. That's really saying something because often, so like Alia is raised in this bunker by a bunch of soldiers, and we never get any implication that anyone has leered at her, threatened her,
Hmm.
groped her, or even touched her, right? And like, that's not what we usually see with one woman with a bunch of men in a mainstream Hindi film, right? Or life.
Yeah.
So, amen to that. But then there is a scene where her first mission as a trained fighter is to uh go kill somebody, and it's clear she's entering that scene as a sex worker, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
oh, you were so close, movie, so close. But other than that one scene, and when you learn more about the people in that scene, you're like, well, okay, it makes sense that they did that. It's still yucky, but like, okay. but but I really appreciated that because I kept worrying that that would happen and it didn't. And Anil Kapoor as, father figure running Raw, you're like, yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I'm in. So yeah, go late, enjoy the fighting. Don't watch the Ook song at the end.
So the first 15 minutes were rough, but then you thought it got good? Or you
It
thought it
really
got
better.
okay?
It's not, to me, it's not as fun as War or Pathan or probably I think I've only seen the first two Tiger movies. I definitely haven't seen the third one, but so those ones are better, but I like some of the concept of what was going on in this. There's also a major concept in this that I do not like, and it has to do with the twist at the end that I will not say anything about, but
Okay.
I was like, good Lord. I roll, but then also, okay, well, maybe of course that's what happened, but hooray for Alia. This character has none of the ebullience that we've seen in her, but it does have this character has a ton of confidence, which we were pulling out as one
Mm,
of the things we really think is one of her strengths, is that she projects confidence, and she
yeah.
projects so much confidence in this role. And I
Okay.
salute her for that.
Nice. I think you should watch Jigra because
I
if you
probably
liked
should.
Ali in
Yeah.
this, you probably would like
Yeah.
her in that too. Because Jigra, I haven't seen Alpha, but Jigra was like the first time I got to see Alia doing something like that,
Yeah.
and I thought it was really cool. Is she like how similar would you say she is to like say a Lara Croft Tomb Raider vibe, or how different is
I
she
mean, the
from that?
wardrobe is fairly similar in some ways.
Mm,
You
okay,
know, that's what you put women in action films. It seems like you put them in a tank top or a bra top, basically,
and the boots
which is
and
one reason I kept worrying that there was going to be some kind of sexual assault,
right,
because it's like pretty low cut. I'm like, if she doesn't, she's been raised in isolation, so she probably doesn't even really know about the male gaze. So why is she dressed like this? I'm
right,
like, oh, the male gaze infiltrates even a bunker in a remote wherever. Yeah, that tracks.
yeah,
She does have the internet, so
right.
she knows. Um, yeah, I was impressed. Like, I feel this is a good addition to the characters that have been built up in this, this universe, and I think she did a good job. It does make
Did
me want more for her in Brahmastra the next time that comes, because
oh
that
yes,
that sort of nonsensical limp rag character that she had, and
Shiva, Shiva, Shiva.
right, she's demonstrated she can do so much more. She had demonstrated she could do more before that movie came out as
Right,
well, and before they filmed it. But like now, for sure, for sure. So you're gonna look really stupid if you water her back down in an action movie.
right. And
But
then, so does Bobby have a big role in this or no?
yes,
Oh, and so he's just bad for like a big chunk of time?
yeah. So the four leads are Alia, Sharvari, Anil, and Bobby.
Oh my. And how does he hold up in his scenes with Anil Kapoor? Because that sounds
Weaker.
scary.
He's weaker.
Okay.
But Anil Kapoor is also amazing, right?
Yeah.
As an actor. Is this his absolute best work? No, because it's not an absolute best character. But he I thought was like perfect, but never put
He's
anyone else.
just such a commanding
Uh-huh.
presence.
Uh-huh. He really
Like,
is.
yeah.
And they are teacher and student, those two. So like you also get that
Mm,
relationship
the
there.
power dynamic.
Mhm. Mhm. But yeah, Bobby is not a match for Anil Kapoor as an actor.
It reminded me of
Sorry,
this
but it's true.
it reminded me of a movie I saw ages ago. I don't even remember the name. Maybe you've seen it. It had Imran Khan and Sanjay Dutt in it. And Imran Khan, like, I know it sank without a trace. I must have been the only person who saw this movie because I liked Imran Khan. And, I
Sure.
thought he was so adorable in Johnny Tu Ya Johnny. And I was like, oh, let's see what he's up to. And I
Oh,
think
I
this was
remember this movie.
literally,
Interesting.
I think it was like his second or third one.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was.
remember the name.
Yeah.
And he kidnaps Sanjay Dutt's daughter in this film. And like, say what you will about Sanjay Dutt, man has charisma and man is scary. And when he's on the screen and Imran Khan is with him, and even there's like a phone conversation where they have where Imran is basically like threatening Sanjay Dutt or whatever. I was like, I do not buy 1 second of this. You sound like a baby, you look like a baby, and that's Sanjay Dutt. Like, what a
Wrong person to
terrible
fuck with.
miscast. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're younger, you're cuter, you're like this romance teeny bopper actor, and that's Sanjay Dutt. I mean, how who came up with this?
You can get him wanting to challenge himself, right? And not be typecast, which he eventually kind of was, right? So
Yeah,
I get that, but that's another.
yeah, but okay, interesting. So, would you recommend that people watch Alpha, or would you recommend that Alia fans watch Alpha?
Alia fans should watch it. Other
Okay,
people, mm,
okay.
and if you prefer your action on the big screen, sure. But if you don't mind about that, you could watch it streaming, I think, and not really lose a whole lot.
Hmm. I wasn't particularly interested in Alpha, but this idea does sound very interesting to me.
Now, which of these films have you seen?
None.
You've seen Pathan,
Oh, we've seen Patan.
but you've not seen any of the war movies and
No,
any of the Tiger movies.
no.
Okay,
Tiger, I just avoid his movies. And
sure.
Rithik, it's like I like Rithik when he's being like, when he does dramas,
Hmm.
although not Guzarish. And so this isn't my like cup of tea for Rithik.
Yeah, I think you could watch this as a standalone. If you're confused about anything, the internet will tell you, or I'll tell you, or whatever. So actually, you should ask someone other than me, since I haven't seen two of this world of movies. But
Okay. I didn't know Patan was considered part of the YRF Spy universe, but
That's why Salman is there, right? He's linking into the
okay.
tiger. So
Okay, got it. Okay. Um, Hard pivot from
hard
Alpha.
pivot from our summer
I
blockbusters.
Yes, I watched America's Sweethearts, DCC making the team. So it's the season three. It's a TV show on Netflix. It's season three of DCC making the team, which is Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. So I loved season one. I loved season two, and the second season three came out. My friend who watches this with me, like we watch together and then we like text each other. She was like, it's out," and she watched it in like 2 days, the 7 episodes. And man, I love this show so much. So I obviously grew up in Nigeria and then spent a few years in India where there is no cheerleading culture. And there also is not really like a sporting culture for women. And the only sport that just dominates everything is cricket. It's just cricket or nothing, right? And so this whole world of like cheerleading is so fascinating to me because these women are athletes.
They
I
are,
mean,
yeah.
they're so beautiful and glamorous, and they have all the high hairspray. And what is that saying? The higher the hair, the closer to
My
God, or
God.
whatever. And it's all of that stuff. But they're so amazingly strong and powerful. And when I see them, and this kind of dance that they do, it's called power palm, which I had never heard of. It's literally called power palm because they're doing the pom pom cheerleader stuff, but there's so much like sheer power behind it.
Yeah.
Like you see these women, they train in the gym and they're like benching and everything. They are strong, they are muscular. And when they do those like high kicks in their lines, it's just astounding. And I think part of the reason that the show has become so popular is because these women are like the complete package and they're like working hard. Like some of them are nurses and some of them are like medical aestheticians, and they get paid like a minimum wage by the Dallas Cowboys organization, which is owned by the
That
Jones
was
family, and they're
that was
evil.
news to me when so I've not seen this series, but I've heard people talk about it, and that was
Yeah.
news to me, and I was outraged because they are as much athletes as the football players.
Yes.
People love to watch them. They have been famous for since I was a little girl in the
Yeah.
70s. Like they've been a big deal for a long time.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's so exploitated. They don't get health
Complicated.
insurance,
Yeah,
Beth.
they're very exploited. Yep.
And
And
this is like
yet
Jerry
people are falling
Jones.
over themselves to be in it,
Yeah.
which is one of
Mhm.
those like, ooh, women are holding up the patriarchy. Ooh.
Yes. And it's, but also the women who like train them and everything, they don't really fight for them either. But then also the person who is the chief brand leader for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders is, what's her face? I keep forgetting her. It's something Jones. And she is the daughter of Jerry Jones. And she is this absolute, Reddit calls her the blue-eyed devil because she has such a horrible, evil vibe that just she emanates. And it's just this kind of vibe of like, if these girls are trying out for the Dallas Cowboys, they should be lucky. They're lucky we're even giving them a chance. And no, we're not going to pay them a living wage and let them have their 3 jobs, whatever. We don't care. And no, we're not going to give them health insurance. And all of these women, because they're doing these terrible jump splits, which is crazy, they keep getting injuries. So you have 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds who have torn their muscles, like their meniscus and blah, blah, blah. And some of them have to get like hip transplants or knee transplants done in their late 20s. It's gobsmacking. Like I can't stop watching. And I feel like all women should watch this documentary because it is horrifying and exploitative and a perfect example of how billionaires and the capitalist class and the 1% will try to drain you of every single drop of blood you have until you have nothing left to give. It's infuriating to see how male footballers are these giant celebrities and they just have millions just thrown at them, and no one gives a shit about these women who are equally athletes in their own right, and they're just meant to be in the shadows all the time. It's crazy to me. And there's also like this heavy veneer. I don't know if it's just a southern thing or a Texas thing. I don't know. I've never lived in Texas. I don't want to. But there is this whole like Christian aspect of it where they all like pray and they all want to get married soon and they want to have children by 25. And one of the big things about this is that one of the breakout stars of the show, like there were several, but this one girl, her name is Reese, and she's from the University of Alabama, which produces a lot of, like, their dance team is supposedly like great or whatever. And she married this man who is an absolute thumb, like he's a thumb, and he's horrible, and he picks fights with
Is
people.
that better or worse than being a biscuit or a potato?
It is so much worse than being a biscuit. I like biscuits
Mm,
and I like potatoes because I can eat them. I can do nothing with a thumb,
yeah.
Beth. So it has no value. He's such a thumb. And then he goes on Instagram and picks fights with people. And like he works this like stupid job, and his entire personality is being married to Reese. And she speaks in this voice that I said to my friend, I was like, why does she talk like this? And my friend said, oh, yeah, that's the fundy baby voice. And I was like, what the hell is that? And so apparently,
What that
like,
is.
it's like in the evangelical circles and stuff, especially in the South, they have this like voice that they use, which is like Paris Hilton's put on voice, not the real voice that she has that's deeper. And I guess it's meant to be like non-threatening, and a lot of the trad wives use it. But the DCC cheerleader squad, it's like such a mind bend for me, because on the one hand they're constantly talking about our Lord and Jesus, and they pray before practice and everything. And but then on the other hand, they wear the most tiny, tiny, tiny little outfits, and everything, like their moves and everything are so suggestive. And it's just kind of like, I don't understand how these two things make any sense together. And then also, for all this talk about like Jesus and sisterhood and everything, you're not paying them. These are 24-year-old girls who are just like running themselves ragged for your stupid organization. It just makes me so
And hurting their
angry.
bodies, right? And
Yes.
suffering, physically suffering, and pouring out a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just, it's, I can't stop watching. But I'm actually so glad that this documentary came out, because I feel like people have no idea how exploitative these things are. If before this documentary, if someone had said to me, like, do you know what Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, or like, these cheerleaders for these big NFL teams, do you know what they make? And I'd be like, oh, they must be making bank, because they're dancers and they're athletes, and they have a huge fan following. There's little girls, 4-year-old girls, who dressed up in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders outfits with the bows in their hair, and they're standing in line just to take a selfie with these women. So I was like, they're celebs. They must be making so much money. And then to hear that they get paid like $14, $15, no health insurance, because they're called contract workers. And I was just like, I can't. But also, there's one girl in it, she's called Dayton Bramhall. Her mom, Shelly Bramhall, is the assistant choreographer of the DCC, and she's a legacy. So her mom used to be a cheerleader for a long time, and Dayton has been trying out for the cheerleading team since 2016. It is now 2026, Beth, and she never makes it to the team, right?
No
But
Nepo hires there.
no, but she's trying. And then when she's cut, Shelly breaks down in tears. Her mom breaks down in tears, and she lashes out at the women who do the selections. And she says,
Oh,
you'll hire these complete strangers, but you won't hire my daughter, whom you held in your arms when she was at the hospital. And I was like, woman, get it together. Um, but also, it's so cultish, Beth, because it's
wow.
like these girls, the legacy girls, they've grown up with this, and all the cheerleaders who are now in their like 50s or 60s or whatever, they're all buddies from that era, because they never left Texas. And their entire life is this. Their entire life is being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader and being like their mom and being like all their aunties. And if they can't do it, such as Dayton, then they're just completely crushed and they have these mental breakdowns. And I'm like, 10 years, you have not made the squad. Girl, go do something else. Just do something else with your life. But she just can't get past it. And I was like, what is this hold that these people have on you? It's like a cult. It's so sad. But it, lots of mixed feelings. I think that this is a good show for women to watch. I think this is a very good show for young girls to watch, and to understand that your beauty, your youth, your sex appeal, your intelligence, your talent will be exploited by the society, by this world, by our capitalist mindset, if you allow it to. And you really cannot let people exploit you in this way. Take those gifts that you have and make something of it, but don't stay in this environment. It's very frustrating to watch. It's very sad. It kind of like breaks my heart, but at the same time, I want so much for these girls. I think they're so amazing and accomplished, and it just breaks my heart that they don't they don't see it, you know. But I think it's a really good documentary series to watch. I think it's very eye opening and shatters a lot of illusions that people might have.
Mm,
So yeah, but I will always root for these girls and I want them to do well and I wish them well, but I also hope that they take the blinders off, please.
right.
Yeah. So that's what I've been watching. What
Okay.
else have you been seeing?
Well, speaking of undervalued women,
Mm.
uh, so because poor Huma Qureshi had a movie come out the same day as Alpha, I wanted to watch another her action movie, right?
Yeah.
Baby Do Dido, which was not screening anywhere near me that I could find. I wanted to watch another of her movies because,
Mm.
as we learned recently, she and Alia debuted the same year, and that's just wild. Also, if you look at the list of who debuted in Bollywood in 2012, it's astounding because it's not only
Mm.
those two plus the other Student of the Year boys, it's Ayushmann Khurrana as well, and I think Arjun Kapoor and like a whole, yeah, Arjun Kapoor, and Diana Penty and Yami Gautam and a couple of other people.
Mm.
It's a
Oh
big
yeah.
class that year. Yeah, Biggie Donor, right?
Yeah.
So I watched Single Salma, or wait, yeah, Single Salma, which came out last year. I had never heard of this movie. Have you heard
I
of
had
this
not either.
movie?
No?
Yeah, so again, I don't know what I gotta do better about trailers. So she plays a young woman in a Lucknow family that used to they're Nawabs and they still go and get their check from the office to, pay off their, for their buyout, I guess. They have mortgaged their house. They don't own it anymore. She has useless siblings who don't work or have married someone they shouldn't. And then she helped pay to get her sisters married. Her dad is completely useless but very proud. Her mom has bad health and worries all the time. So Selma works for the kind of urban planning department, urban engineering department of
Oh,
the
good for
city.
her.
Mhm. And her
Because
family,
I was starting to get a very Muhafiz Flight of Pigeons
yeah,
vibe.
her family, of course, wants her to get married because I'm not sure how old she's supposed to be, like early 30s, I think, and is not married and doesn't seem interested in getting married. And then she she to get her mother off her back says, sure, fine, I'll get married. They go and see a bunch of grooms. They're all terrible. They either want her to stop working or whatever, and like it's not going to happen. And then she meets this guy played by Shreyas Talpade,
Mm-hmm.
who is a fairly ridiculous character who runs a groom's clothing shop. And they
Okay.
develop a cute, and she's like, fine, I'll marry him. And he's
So
adorable.
it's like an arranged marriage?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
adorable, but he's pushy. And then she gets the opportunity to go to London on a training thing. And so she goes to London and she has more adventures away from home. He supported her going because her family was like, oh, but the auspicious time to get married, well, you can't, you'll be in London. And he's like, no, no, she should go. This is good for her and good for Lucknow and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
So she has adventures there. It's got a little bit of a queen flavor, right? Where like
I
she
was
goes
just
to
thinking.
Europe and whatever. And then she comes back and everyone's like, were you gonna there's a bit of a scandal because she went to the beach in a swimsuit and someone sees a picture of her. She was in the background of someone else's picture that got posted, but they recognize her and that gets splashed all over the city. And so there's is it nonsense? And she's like, F all y'all.
Oh, good.
And so then we get to see what she decides to do with the rest of her life. And
Okay.
it's it's a little preachy.
Mm.
And I want to say something about Huma Qureshi that please know that I apply to all men or all women or anyone who does this. She produced this movie, along with some other people and her brother and
Okay.
and I started counting at one point and I ran out of fingers, like at least 10 times, where the dialogue says, you are so beautiful. She is so beautiful. Wow, how beautiful you are. And I was like, what is this ego feed that you need as a producer to have people
Wow.
literally telling you? It was really weird and yucky. And I
That
understand
is so
that this
strange.
character probably hasn't had people say that to her very much because she doesn't seem to really care about appearance and whatever. She's still Huma Qureshi, so she's
I mean,
pretty. Like
yeah.
she's a babe.
Yeah.
um, but you need to actually, I was like, this is kind of gross, actually.
Yeah.
But then I started to think, well, other people probably do this too in the movies they produce. And I've just like, how many movies has Salman produced where someone admires how strong he is or whatever, right? So I'm like,
Or his muscles.
right. So probably this is a thing, and it just had never stood out to me before because I kind of expect better from her.
Yeah.
But why do I do that? Do I expect better from her because she's been in some more less mainstreamy movies? Like, you know,
Because I mean, we both love Shah Rukh a lot, and
right.
also in Shah Rukh's productions, there's the spotlight is always on him. He's always the hero. He's
But
always
that's
hot.
not
He's always
literally
sexy.
someone mouthing it, right? I
Right.
feel like those two things are different.
And I was just thinking about that because, like, when you said, like, I was thinking, like, is that an unfair standard? Like, is she being held to a different standard than, like, if it's okay if it's Shah Rukh and Salman who do it,
Yeah.
but not her? But I think it's
Yeah.
because in those movies, it's not as blatant.
Yeah. I think so too. Like, just have her look beautiful.
Hmm.
And you could have characters react to her, but then for them to
Yeah.
give them the dialogue, you are so beautiful. You should be a model, blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, stop.
Was it giving Pakiza?
it was very cringe. And it's a little preachy at times where because she has
Mm,
some she lets her father have it at least once. She tells off a lot of people, and she should,
mm,
but it is also a little preachy. So if
mm.
they had tightened that up a little bit and then done away with quite as much flattery of the producer, very explicit flattery of the producer, I would have liked more. However, I think this is a good movie for women to watch, younger women to watch, like see, think about what choices you have. And one thing I love that this movie does is so many people say, so many people end up doing things because of or for their families that they don't actually want to do. And if you say, well,
Hmm.
why do you do it? They say, I have to. You don't actually have to. You just don't want to deal with the consequences of not doing it. And I certainly understand that. But you are actually not
Obligated.
absolutely forced to, right? And this is a character who realizes what she does and doesn't have to do, and she takes action based on it, which is amazing. So she clearly feels like she has to earn this money to support her family and pay off the landlord
Mm,
or whatever, because her father's not going to do it. And her mother's not
right.
going to do it. And her brother, who's younger and still in school, like he wants to be a cricketer. He doesn't do anything useful, right? And her sisters have married and are out of the house. So like they're not, no one else is going to get her sisters married, so she feels she has to do it. And by the end of the film, she's has decided she does not have to do it and she will not do it, and it's so
Wow.
satisfying.
That's like radical.
It's radical, and also obviously fairly rare to see a movie about a Muslim family who's very
Yeah.
much the center of this. That's not as common, these days.
Yeah.
And in that regard, you can kind of see this as a Muslim social of past decades, I think. But
Yeah.
I really liked this movie. I would encourage people
Okay.
to watch it. Do bear in mind it's a little preachy and there's some
Right.
like
And we know the producer is
dialogue,
very beautiful.
but it's fun to see Lucknow. It's fun to see London. Yeah, watch it. It's fun.
Okay. I hadn't even heard about it. I
No,
feel like they need to do better with like promoting stuff,
yeah.
you know?
And then
Mm.
I also I have been watching a lot of TV because it's been so hot that you can't do anything else. So I finally watched the third of the Benoit
Knives Out?
uh the Knives Out movies, which I super enjoyed. It too has Prince Charles in it. As
Yeah.
an American priest, his American accent to me was chef's kiss. No notes. I thought he was great. Um,
Yeah.
I really enjoy those. They're obviously the, kind of contemporary Agatha Christie vibes, and I love
Yeah.
I love those vibes. As soon as it was over, I kind of wanted to watch it again because I like it.
Right.
I would fully recommend that. It's Wake Up Dead Man on Netflix. And I also rewatched, sorry, did not rewatch. I watched the last Bridget Jones movie, Mad
I
About
was
Mary.
curious to see what you thought about that because I have not seen it because I am avoiding seeing it. I would rather
Oh,
just watch the original Bridget Jones again.
and the original is better, right? This
Yeah.
to me was better than the third movie, certainly. And I haven't seen the second movie in a long time, but I think I'd say I like this better than the second movie. I also liked this. So there's books one, two, and three, but movies one, two, three, and four. And
Mm,
movie three does not really correspond to any of the books, as I recall correctly. So
okay.
this movie four is basically book three. Hmm?
Which is the one I'm thinking of where Bridget Jones becomes a widow?
That's this one.
Okay. Yeah. This is the one I've been avoiding.
Yeah. Um, Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
uh, and this, and
Sorry.
they tell you early in the movie because my friend didn't know that, and she was like, "What's going
Oh,
on?" And I was like, "Oh, there." I was like, "Pause it for a second." I'm like, "This, he's died," and she's like, and
but
then
I
like the next word they start to tell you.
Yeah, but I felt like the trailer was a dead giveaway that she becomes a widow.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't
when I saw the
remember.
trailer, I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
And it's I thought this was lovely. I really did.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to see because they have Mark Darcy in a few flashbacks. They Daniel Cleaver is there, so you get to see Hugh Grant again. As we have discussed, Hugh Grant is one of the powers of the age, still so ridiculously charming. That character is complete
Mm.
nonsense, and Bridget knows it now, and she acts
Mm.
accordingly, which is really like she's learned.
And
So
grown.
she's learned and grown. And so the Bridget we see in this movie does have some things in common with the Bridget from the early 2000s or in the 90s when she was written. But she is, you know, she's in her early 50s, I guess, or something like she's my age or a little older actually. And I felt like we could see traces, we could definitely see that Bridget, but she is managing to raise two kids when she's depressed with grief, right? And she's dealing with kids
Yeah.
who are at least one kid who's grieving because he was old enough to remember his dad. The younger girl is not as, you know, she doesn't remember him as well. She's, you know, getting them to school and they don't seem to really have any problems that other people might not have other than grief and but they don't have other problems that other people do have, right? So like
Hmm.
she decides to go back into the workforce. So this is a person of financial privilege. She's not been working since Mark died, it sounds like. So she goes
Okay.
back into TV production where she's been before, and that is funny, and of course it is. And the basic gist is that she gets herself a much younger boyfriend and is really enjoying that. But then he does something really boneheaded, and she learns and grows from that too. And then
Okay.
she gets a different boyfriend by the end who's a much better fit. I won't spoil
Okay.
who it is, but you've seen a movie before, so once you start the
Yes.
movie, you'll be like, oh, it's that person.
Right.
And it's very charming. I like it very much. I cried a few times.
Mm.
You see the death of another character who I don't think I had realized. I've only read the third book one time because I didn't like it very much.
Mm.
And I didn't see that coming, and that made me cry. Um, and there's a this kind of final scenes of this movie seem very much to be wrapping up the entire series. Like we will not see these characters again, and that's okay, right?
Right.
And it's lovely. So if you have Peacock, which is where it is streaming, at
Oh
least in
yeah, I do.
the States, you should watch it. It's very charming.
Okay. Is it like super sad though?
No,
Okay.
but there's just moments. And
Okay.
when we're off camera, I can tell you what they are if you want.
Okay.
Recording. Or if anyone else wants spoilers, you can message me or email the Filmy Ladies email, and Pitu will tell me to respond. Um,
Yeah.
but I was really happy to see all these people again. For a long
Yeah.
time, I would have told you that Bridget Jones's Diary, the first book, is my favorite novel of all time. I've
Mm.
kind of gone off of it recently, but it will always hold a very special place in my heart. I
Yeah.
think that book is so funny.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And for me, it was the first time I had seen someone so overtly tackling and talking about the social pressures that young women feel themselves under in terms of appearance and weight and things like that. I'm sure other novels do it. I just hadn't read any of them. And so to see this and written in such a funny way, you know,
Yeah.
and then to mix in Pride and Prejudice as well, like it's such
Right.
a hoot. But like you see Mark Darcy's Reindeer Jumper come out again.
Oh
And like, yeah,
yeah.
so it's a very sweet movie, and I was this fictional person has been, I don't think she's changed my life or anything, but I've kept company with her a lot over the years. She's been a presence in my life. I would reread
Yeah.
a chapter or so of that book before bed. I don't know, once a month or something like that. I would just, it was always on my bedside table, and I would pick it up. My paperback of it is torn to shreds because I've reread it and like underlined things in it and all so often.
Yeah.
The two books I don't feel as strongly about, but that first one, it's a comic masterpiece, honestly.
Yeah.
Has Bridget's version of feminism from those books aged super well? No,
Okay.
not. But she knows that also, and I think the movie knows it too. So
Okay.
this movie is more diverse, which is great. It's not astounding, but it's better. Um,
Mm.
and you see Bridget interacting with non-white people in a way that shows that these people are also fully part of her world. That's nice. Like it's minor, but it's nice. And it could be better,
Right.
but that's nice. The
Right.
kid actors are pretty charming, I thought. And I don't often, love kids in movies, but they're pretty cute. Everyone's great.
Nice. I think one of the reasons I've been avoiding this so much is because, like, as a Gen X person, I have really been reeling from like the Gen X losses that we've had.
Oh,
Like, Luke Perry passed,
yep.
and then Matthew Perry passed, and then James Vanderbeek, whom I remember from Dawson's
Right.
Creek, passed. And
Right.
so it's like our generation is now entering those
Colin Firth
ages
and Hugh
where
Grant are still alive. It's okay.
I know, thank God. But because of that, it's like I want to almost freeze like Bridget
Oh,
Jones and Renee Zellweger in that like era when it was like her and Colin Firth and Hugh Grant, and it's like
yeah.
I'm so not looking forward to our generation's icons passing, and
Mhm.
so the idea of her being a widow, that I'm like, no, I want to live in La La Land.
Well, I mean, if it helps any in the world of Bridget Jones, Mark Darcy has been killed. He didn't just naturally die.
Okay, okay,
He's off doing humanitarian work somewhere and like
yeah.
stuff's on a landmine or I don't know, something like that. So it's
Oh,
him doing the work that he cares about, and it
right.
went.
Only in a film podcast would someone say, if it helps, he didn't just die, he was killed. And the other person's like, okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, it's not a heart attack or anything like that.
Yeah. It's not
Unnatural cause.
it's not colon cancer or anything like that. It's just, he was just beheaded with a machete, as one is.
Just that. Just humanitarian lawyer things.
Right. Speaking of, like, I know what Bridget Jones means to you, and similar to me is actually Legally Blonde.
Mhm.
And I have been wanting to watch the
Yeah,
Elle prequel that came out on
yeah.
Amazon Prime. Lexi Mindtree is reprising that role of Elle Woods, and she is so cute and so pretty, and I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't managed to see it yet because I've been still getting through America's Sweethearts, but I want to see it just because I love Legally Blonde so much. And I like the idea of taking this like very pink and cute and adorable, bubbly person and moving her to grungy Seattle where she's like a fish out of water. I think that's going to be funny. But there's the big question that my friend, who is also a Legally Blonde fan, the big question that we asked each other was like, did we need a prequel?
No,
Um, we did not. What
no,
I would
no
have
IP is safe
loved
anymore.
no, but what I would have loved actually was to have a sequel to Legally Blonde where Reese Witherspoon, who is still a working actor, I've recently seen her in like, well, not super recently, but like I've seen her in Big Little Lies and stuff like that. I would love to see Reese Witherspoon, Elwood's life now, where she's like a high powered, like a partner in a law firm, and she's married or divorced or whatever, and she has like two kids, and she's juggling all of those things, and maybe she's like going through like perimenopause, and she wakes up with like hot flashes, or she has hot flashes in like court or something, and she's still like fashionable and amazing and like an icon. And maybe she doesn't have a chihuahua named Bruiser anymore, but maybe she has like, I don't know, a golden retriever or something. I would love to see that Elle Woods, who went to college, who went to law school and said, what, like it's hard. I want to see her now as like a middle-aged grown ass woman, and I want to see what her journey has been. So I don't know why we're being dragged to her as a high schooler. Like, who asked for that? And Reese Witherspoon is still a working actor. She looks amazing. I saw photos of her at the premiere where she was dressed in all pink and she looked so amazing and adorable. And I was like, I want to see her today. So I hope that if this show catches on and it becomes really popular, it's gotten like positive reviews but not like glowing reviews. I hope if that becomes popular, they'll do like a sequel, because that's really what I want. But then again, The Devil Wears Prada 2 was not received as well, so who knows, maybe some things are better left alone. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand the temptation, but yeah, some
Yeah.
things should be left.
Yeah. What else are you looking forward to watching? Are you a Sherlock Holmes fan? Have you seen Enola Holmes 1 and 2?
I've only seen one, but
Okay.
I did notice that three was out now, and I it's on my list of things to watch because I did
It's
enjoy.
on my list as well.
I thought those were fun.
I like Millie Bobby Brown, and I like Henry Cavill, and I'm looking forward to seeing that world again. I just think it's so sweet to see like this like Gharelu Sherlock Holmes with like his little baby sister and everything. Millie
Yeah.
Bobby Brown is always like a good time, and I'm looking forward to that. But that's on my list.
I have been several months ago, I started a rewatch of The Simpsons from the very beginning, and I'm now in season 10 and enjoying it very much. A friend asked me the other day, so do you feel like you're past the golden age of Simpsons? And I was thinking about what we were saying about gold in our gold podcast. I'm like, yeah, there's no tarnish because gold can't tarnish, but I'm like, yeah, like slightly lesser gold, like banged up gold a little bit, but
Yeah,
I'm still laughing so much. I still think it's
nice.
so funny. So I'm sure that'll start to fall off soon. But honestly, every time I've seen The Simpsons in the last 5 years, I still think it's funny. Not as
Yeah,
funny, but I still think it's funny. So if now is like fifth tier down, so I might be in second tier, but it's still pretty good to me. So And I'm still finding things that I remember or that I quote and don't even remember which episode they're from anymore.
Right.
Although the bulk of those have passed, I will say that. But there's still things where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Um, what are you looking forward to seeing? Like, what's on your sort of watch list? Or
Very little really, simply because I feel like, I mean, my watch list is massive, but it's all older stuff for the most part. So there's a few, there's a New Zealand mystery and a British mystery series that are having their new episodes come out on one of the streaming services. They're past in their home countries, but I'd like to watch those. King will come out at some point and I will watch it. Of course, I will
right?
probably won't like it, but I will watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all that I know about.
Oh, you
Oh,
WhatsApp me
you
in
have a
all
good,
caps that you want to watch Ita, which I also want to watch.
oh, right.
Yeah.
Ika,
Huh?
Ika.
Ita. EETHA.
What is the Sunny Akshay movie?
No, Ita, the Shraddha Kapoor movie.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So I used to work on a project at the museum where the people were in a place in Greenland called Ita. So that's all I could
Oh.
think that you were saying. And I was like, what are you
Oh,
talking about? Yes, I think the Shraddha Kapoor movie looks very interesting. Can't believe I'm saying that, but here we are. So
right.
I would like to watch that. Thank you for
You
reminding me
recently
of it.
said that you thought Joy Mukherjee was very charming. So something is happening to you, Beth. I don't know what is happening.
I don't
Something is
know.
happening.
You know
Something's up.
how they say like every chunk of years your taste buds kind of change? Like I didn't
Yeah.
used to like grapefruit and now I do. So like is it like that?
Yeah. You were very taken by Bobby Deol, and now in Alpha, you were not. And now you're very much looking forward to a Shraddha Kapoor movie. So I don't know. I'm just saying something is up with you. There's something in the air in
Might
like
change the
Illinois.
prescriptions a little bit.
I have a very, very, very long list of movies I want to watch to the point that I actually had to WhatsApp myself a list so I can like
Oh my
figure
God.
out my dates. Yeah, because like I have to figure out which friends, or if I see something alone, I have to figure out my work schedule and figure out when to go watch things because I'm one of those people that like to watch things in the week that they come out. So here's my list. I am going to watch Odyssey. It releases July 14th, but because we're watching it with friends, I got tickets for IMAX 25th of July. And I had
Oh,
to, yes, it's an IMAX. It is 2 hours and 52 minutes. And there will probably be like 15 to 20 minutes of ads. So the way we timed it is it's a Saturday. Our movie time, our show time is 3:15 p.m. because I was like, that way it's a 3 hour movie. We'll get out right in time. 7 o'clock, we go get dinner and then we can talk about it.
mhm.
So have my tickets to Odyssey. Very, very excited. Have still not finished the book. I got it from the library. Um,
It is famously long.
it is very much a slog.
And which translation do you have?
I did not get the Emily Wilson one. I should have, because that's what Christopher Nolan has
Ah,
based the movie on. That's the version he's
he
based it on.
used work by a woman as his source.
Yes, it's
How
actually very
shock.
popular. I was chatting up a person at Barnes and Noble the other day because, of course, I was, and he had picked up the Emily Wilson version, and he was like, "No, he had picked up a different version because he said he's read the Emily version." Wilson version, which the movie is based on, but he wanted to read that other version. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I got this version from the library, and we were discussing it. And he said that the Emily Wilson version is like a feminist look at it. So
Okay.
Odysseus is not portrayed as like a hero, and it's more like nuanced. But he
Are there
wanted,
more than two women in it?
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
seriously, I've seen the trailer. Like, are there more than two women?
there's like three. There's Anne
Oh,
Hathaway's
three. Okay.
Penelope, yeah. Lupita Nyong'o is Helena Troy. Zendaya is Athena, and then I forget her name. Ellen Page is Achilles.
Okay.
Um,
That's good.
but yes, this is very hard. I have the translation by Robert Fitzgerald, and I am too into it to now bail. So we're
For
gonna
you.
try, I guess.
I every time I
um
see that trailer, I get more and more off put. The only thing I like is that the Greek horse is rearing up. I think that's cool.
right. No, it's definitely questionable. Definitely.
Do the Stephen Fry book about Troy. He does a telling of it, and
Okay.
it's really it's very lively. I'm not saying I I was asking about translators simply because I follow historians on Bluesky and they're always talking about
Mhm.
this kind of thing. I wouldn't know one of the translators from the other if they bit me in the butt. So,
Right.
no. But I did really enjoy Stephen Fry's telling of it, but this movie looks like a huge no to me. Ugh.
I do wonder if Nolan is just like being an edgelord or something, because it really does feel sometimes like is he just like trolling us? Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe that's how he
Very
gets those
successful at it.
jollies.
So,
He is very successful at it. So I'm keeping my hopes.
yeah,
I think I'm going to go in.
famously good story. So at least
Yes.
there's that.
Yes. I feel like I'm approaching it the way I approached Disclosure Day, which is I know I like the director. I know, like with Disclosure Day, I love anything with aliens. So I like a good epic story about adventures set
Doesn't
in
get
days
more
of
epic than this.
yore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And gods and goddesses making
Mhm.
an entrance and all of the petty drama that ensues in the war scene. So but I also don't know if Nolan just wants to like upset everybody. Maybe he does. I don't know. Then so July 14th, Odyssey releases. I'm seeing it July 25th. Then on August 14th is the release of End of Oak Street, which is the Anne Hathaway movie that is a dinosaur movie. So it's not part of the
Oh,
Jurassic Park IP, but it's like a dinosaur movie. It's going to be so cool. I'm so excited for it. And this is a big year for Anne Hathaway. She had Devil Wear Prada too. She has End of Oak Street, and she plays Penelope in Odyssey as well. So she's got three big releases, and she's pregnant with her fourth child, and she's been going to all the press junkets and everything showing off her baby bump and just looked like $1 million. So End of Oak Street, I'm going to watch it with my friend who is also a dinosaur fan, but she has a baby, so we have to figure out our schedule. And then August 28th is Ita, which I'm also looking forward to watching because I love Lowney's, and I've
yes.
studied Lowney in classes. I'm terrible at it. I'm very, very bad, but that doesn't stop me from going to those classes. So I'm looking forward to those. And I don't know how I feel about Shraddha Kapoor's acting, but she's an extremely good dancer. So I'm hoping that her dances will be amazing. And it made me read up about Vithabai Narayan Gaukar, who is the dancer that it's based on. And she sounds amazing. I was
Cool.
like, wow, what an icon. I didn't know about her.
Cool.
I only know the more modern Launi performers. And then I'm so excited. October 16th is Whale Fall. This is going to be my most favorite movie of the year. I can already tell. It
I
is
don't know what
based
it is.
Oh, it is based on a novel that came out in 2023. And just the poster for this movie is like chef's kiss. So it's a story about a man who is scuba diving, and he's trying to find his departed father's remains, as one does in the ocean. And then he is accidentally swallowed by a big old gigantic whale, as one does, just a normal day in California. And he is accidentally swallowed by the whale, and he has 1 hour left in his oxygen tank, and he has to figure out a way to exit said whale and survive. And so it's a survival movie inside the belly of a whale. Beth, this movie was made for me.
This is from the Bible.
That's what my friend said. My friend was like, "Is this a movie
What?
about Jonah and the whale?" And I was like, "Who is Jonah?"
Oh
And
yeah.
she was like, "Jonah and the whale." And I was like, "I
The
do not know
whale.
what you're talking about." And then she looked it up and she was like, "This is the story." And I was like, "But Jonah and the whale does not have a scuba diver and a
No, he
dead
doesn't have a
father's
tank.
remains. He doesn't have a tank either." So I was like, "There you go. It's like a
See?
technologically
Drawing
advanced
from more
one."
ancient sources. Love it.
Yes. But it's delightful. I swear,
Okay.
whoever wrote this book and whoever's making this movie loves me. They
Okay.
love me. They are making all my dreams come true.
Good.
I just know this movie is going to
You
make
look
me so happy.
so happy. Good.
I'm giddy with delight.
I
A whale swallowing a man alive, and he has 1 hour to get out. That this
hope
is
the whale survives.
my dream. Oh, I'm sure he'll survive. I don't care if I would like the man to escape
Yeah.
because that's more entertaining. But I'm looking forward to like the deep sea shots and everything, and the shots inside the whale. Like that's going to be so cool. I know that there's some
Poor
museums
whale.
where they can show you the inside, like you can walk through the intestines and stuff like that. So whale fall, man, I am looking forward to. I'm gonna have a good Diwali because
Yeah.
it's on October 16th.
Nice. Nice.
I'm gonna do like Lakshmi Puja at home and then go watch whale fall.
What deity is associated with whales?
I don't
You
know
have
if
to
there
look
is,
it up.
but I know that in Marathi, the word for whale is Devmasa, which means godfish.
What a great name.
I know because there is a story about like a whale. saving someone or something. It's one of the avatars of Vishnu. I don't really know. I just know that whales are called Devmasa. So I was like, cool. Um, and then I also want to go and watch Supergirl because I like Millie Alcock and it has Crypto, who is so cute. And I also partly want to see it because it's gotten very bad reviews, but I feel like the bad reviews are 50% of the bad reviews are because they feel like the script is just questionable, which fine, maybe it is. I haven't seen the movie yet. But 50% of it is mostly the incel brigade, where they just refuse to have a movie where you're a super hero happens to be a woman because how dare.
Yeah.
It reminds me very much of the bullshit that came out when they did the Ghostbusters with the women. And people are like, but why would Ghostbusters be women? And I'm like, oh, so you have no problem believing in ghosts.
Right.
Ghostbusters being women is a bridge too far for you. It was such bullshit. So want to watch Supergirl only because I want to support a female superhero. So gonna watch that in the theater. Looking forward to that. And then other than that, I have tickets to the Berkeley Film Museum archive to watch. I'm gonna butcher this word because I don't speak French. Plein Soleil,
Mm.
which is from 1960. It stars Alain Delon, whom I love, and it is basically the Jason Bourne story, but it's French.
Ah,
It's from 1960. It's supposed to be really amazing, and I want to go see it with other film nerds in the theater. The English translation for it is called Purple Noon.
yeah. I think this means something like in full sunlight or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
because I know Soleil is sun, but I don't know what Plein means.
plein is like en plein air is like out in the open. When you paint it out in the open, that's
Yeah,
plein air. So I think it's,
like full sunlight, like blazing sun, maybe
I
it
would, yeah,
means.
maybe. Oh, high,
Yeah,
like
but
a high noon sort of feel maybe, but purple
so
noon.
I'm watching that in August. I have tickets to the museum on August, and then in August is also like next month is the NAFA Film Festival. So I'm
Right.
going there
Wow.
for the third year in a row. I still have to decide which of the 2 days I'm going to go of the three, and I have to start making all of my bookings. So it is a busy year for me,
Good.
cinema wise.
Good.
I
Very
know I'm excited. I'm most excited for Whale Fall though.
nice.
Maybe you should watch it too.
That sounds tense. I don't know.
I hope it's absolutely terrifying and grisly and just like
No, thank you.
really scary.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that wraps up our catch-up episode then.
Ooh,
I
it's a
know,
lot.
quite a
Watching a
marathon.
lot.
We've been watching a lot. I think it's because it's summer. I've been eating a lot and I've been watching a lot and I've been reading a lot of books.
Ice
It's
cream on
great.
the
I love
couch
it.
is all there is. So
Yes, exactly. Okay, I think that wraps up this episode. Please tell us what you've been watching. What have you seen? What is in your watch list? What are you looking forward to seeing? Are you excited to watch King or not? Have you been watching any Hollywood movies? Are you going to watch the Anne Hathaway dinosaur film? And also, what is the buzz regarding the Odyssey in India? I'm so curious to know because I'm sure it's going to be like a worldwide phenomenon just based on all the advance tickets that have sold. So I'm very curious to see what Indian fans are thinking about the Odyssey. And yep, we will see you next week. Thank you for watching Filmi Ladies. Bye.